Hello. So the first step to painting this beautiful icicle branch is we're going to be masking all the icicle to allow us to do a very even and just spotted a little bit of bouquets in the background. So the first thing we're going to do is draw this. So you're going to have your drawing looks like this. And then we're going to need to mask all of the icicles. So everything you see as ice, we are going to mask to allow us to use a big brush and just scan through that background. Now, the first thing that you're going to need to do is to mask is an old brush. And I can't stress enough, it's an old synthetic brush. If you use a natural brush, if you use a good brush, it's highly likely you will ruin your brush if you don't use with masking fluid. It just sticks to the bristles, and just because the natural fibers have these little indentation, and the masking fluid will just stick to it. Okay, so first thing I do is I take my dish soap, and you can see it's pretty old old bottle, and I go over the sink and I put some in my hand, and I put it all over the bristle, which I've already done in this case. Next thing you need is some masking fluid. Today I'm going to use Pebeo just because it's blue in the class and it's easier for students to see what I'm doing. I most often use Winsor Newton, but it's a light color, cream color, and it's very difficult when teaching because it's just off-white, right? So because I don't like to keep the bottle open because the masking fluid does dry fairly quickly, I tend to put it in small containers like this, just for ease of use, and it's got a bigger opening and it's a little container I can keep flat. And then all we're going to do is dip our brush, which is covered with soap, in the masking fluid, and then we're just going to apply the masking fluid. Because we're covering a fairly large surface, I suggest you work from left to right because you don't want your hands to run on this. And if you do, well, you have to let it dry, remove it, and start over. Now, the tip to applying masking fluid is to imagine that you are painting and you're looking for nice, smooth lines. Notice on this photo, we've got a nice, even line over here. Last thing you want is a ragged edge on this. You know, when the rain falls on here and it drips down, everything ends up with a nice, smooth edge. So it's really important that you paint with the same intent, you apply masking fluid with the same attention you would as if you were painting. So I'm just going to do this section over here. I'll come back and do that one later just because I want you to see. So I dip my brush in, and then I'm just slowly going to stroke, okay? And I tend to apply my masking fluid quite thick because I don't want any holes on here. And because when it dries, it shrinks and it leaves these little holes. And so just put it on thick. And also it's really easy to take off when it's thick. All right. So I'm just applying this slowly and just being careful that the lines are really smooth with this masking fluid. So that's all there is to applying masking fluid. And then the first thing you're going to do when this is all dry is you're going to look around your paper and making sure that you haven't dropped. There aren't little drops lying around. And I know that happens a lot to me. And unfortunately, sometimes you forget to check. And then when you start applying the dark background, you've got these little white spots that come out. So that's not the look we're going for. So again, you just slowly, slowly apply it. And I'm going to apply it all the way through here because I want to be able to just use a big brush and just go right through this. But you could apply it on the outline if you want, but on the parts that's hanging, definitely I recommend that you cover the entire thing just to allow for a nice smooth wash, okay? So that's all there is to this. And if you make a mistake, let it dry, peel it off, and apply more masking fluid. It's not any more complicated than that. And I think that's about all the tips for masking fluid. So gently, gently put it on, making sure your lines are smooth. And that's the most important part. Most of us, we don't like this step of the process, and you might try to rush it. But if your lines aren't smooth, then it's going to show in your painting. So do spend the time to do this right. And so I've got a little ragged edge here, and so I'm just going to turn this around, and I'm just going to smooth it out. So I want all of this to be nice and smooth. Okay. I did not put a lot of detail in my masking and my drawing because the masking fluid will lift most of the details. So really all we need is the outline for this class. All right. So that's all there is about masking fluid. If you have any questions, reach out and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. So with this, I wish you good luck and we will see you soon.